I sense the return of Rebels. Yep, Rebels is back, and I'm going to talk about the new episode. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance. My eyes are going to be all over the place. Unfortunately, I don't have my sunglasses, so I'm going to try my best to make eye contact, although I'm looking at my outline, so my eyes are going to be all over the place. So just bear with me, and just bear with me, and if you want, just don't look at me, just listen if you can't bother all this. Anyway, with all that, let's get to the vlog. This is Path of the Jedi. Now, before I go in, I just want to say, does anyone else find it weird that Season 2, they're going to be showing the premiere of Season 2 in just a couple months? Like, I think they said in April they're going to show Season 2. But I digress. This is Path of the Jedi. This is an episode where Kanan takes Ezra to some temple on Lothal to do some training. And on the place, they train. Kanan learns a bit about himself. Ezra learns a bit about himself. Basically, it's a learning episode. And I was really excited for this episode because it was written by Charles Murray. And if you don't know who Charles Murray is, he is a writer for the Clone Wars. He is the guy who brought us the oh-so-wonderful Ahsoka arc from the season finale of Clone Wars. Not season finale, but the season 5 finale. So I was really happy that they brought Charles Murray back. I was really curious to see what he was writing. And there was some potential. I did feel a bit of the oomph. Like, there was something in this episode that wasn't in the other episodes, but because again, I like the idea of seeing Kanan train Ezra training. I think it's a very interesting thing. I do like how both Kanan and Ezra learn something. Like, I do like the idea that Kanan doesn't feel like he's worthy to train Ezra. Like, he's not the best teacher. Like, he's doubting himself. Like, there's a great line where he says something to Ezra right before he goes in. Ezra's like, what does that mean? And Kanan's like, I don't know. That's what my master said. Stuff like that. But I felt that dialogue watered it down. Like, it was a little too generic. Ezra talked way too much. Like, it was, like, it almost felt like the writer just had to flat out tell us everything Ezra's going through in it. And I didn't feel like all the dialogue was necessary. But I felt like, the funny thing is they did a similar episode like this in Clone Wars called The Gathering. But it was a bit more subtle in its message, and honestly, that was a way better episode. I think that's part of why I don't like this, is because Gathering kind of did this better, and better animation. And also, Destiny was pretty clever. The Destiny episode, not Destiny the game, but the episode Destiny where Yoda's training himself, that was pretty interesting in terms of how his training. And speaking of Destiny, there was a nice callback to the Yoda arc and voices by using the Fireflies to show Yoda and how he became one with the Force, like Qui-Gon. But again, it wasn't so much that training Ezra was bad, it's just that he was whining a little too much, and there was a little too much of talking us through what Ezra's going through and a little less showing. Whereas in the Yoda arc, in the Destiny episode, the visuals sort of spoke for themselves as to what Yoda was feeling, what his fears were, what his hopes were. Whereas this just comes right out and says it. And I get that's a little kid show, but come on, kids are smart. Like, again, like, I knew what Yoda's do or do not line in Empire means, so I don't like how this episode kind of dumbs itself down a bit. I wasn't too annoyed at the Yoda cameo. It was nice to hear Frank Oz again. It was weird to hear him again, considering I've been listening to Tom Kane do the voice for a while. Yoda was in character, and it doesn't feel like too much of a stretch. I mean, he doesn't have much to do on Dagobah. He's probably constantly meditating, trying to keep in touch with what's going on in the galaxy. But I would have preferred it if he wasn't there. This did just feel like them, once again, pointlessly shoehorning in a Star Wars character. I mean, he did serve the story a bit, but I would have liked if he wasn't there because I like the idea of Kanan being on his own, lacking any guidance, or he wasn't fully trained and he has to figure stuff out on his own. That's the thing. I want Kanan to figure stuff out on his own. I don't want him, some master, to show up and give him all the answers. And it would make him a stronger and more interesting character. Because there is something there of Kanan, of how he's a master, but he's not entirely sure what to do and stuff. Like, there's an interesting character. Kanan could be an interesting character. But he's not. But I don't feel that the show ever develops him enough. And and when you have someone just come out and give him all this guidance, it kind of weakens his character. And I did enjoy the design of Ezra's lightsaber. I did enjoy how there was a creepy vibe throughout the episode. It was dark. We did see a death on the show with Kanan getting stabbed. And I was happy to see Charles Murray get brought back to write this because he did a wonderful job with the season 5 finale. And this was one of the better episodes. It was engaging. I just wish it could be more. But I just want this show to be as good as Clone Wars. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this episode. So I'm curious to hear what you think. Comment below and let me know. And as always, dislike, comment, subscribe. This is JStar60 signing out. Take care.